Hello everyone. A few years ago, I was able to learn a clean one-arm chin-up on both of my hands. I also did a bunch of weighted pull-ups and chin-ups to get there. And in this video, I want to share my thoughts on a very common question that's asked in the calisthenics community. How much strength is needed in order to do a one-arm chin-up? What percentage of your body weight should you be able to pull? And what is the ideal prerequisite strength in order to get started training for this movement? I will share what my max strength was when I learned the one-arm chin-up in different rep ranges so that you can get a real-life practical example. But before I get into that, one thing needs to be made very clear. Most people who ask these questions, what they generally mean is that how much of your body weight should you be able to pull so that you can jump straight into a one-arm chin-up without practicing it and be able to do it. The thing is, this scenario almost never happens in real life. I'm saying almost because I'm sure there are some exceptions. Getting to a level of strength where you can pull 70 to 80% of your body weight is extremely challenging, and it is almost guaranteed that before you can get anywhere close to that level of strength, you're going to hit a plateau. So what happens is that people get fairly strong and then they hit a wall. And it gets really boring to train the same thing over and over again with seemingly no progress made. So some of them will start training for the one-arm chin-up to break the plateau, to try something new, and this is usually how people end up learning the movement. Jumping straight into it and being able to do it is possible, but it is very rare. And this is how I ended up learning the one-arm chin-up as well. I started training for the one-arm chin-up in November of 2021. I was weighing at 60 kg or 132 pounds, and at that time my weighted chin-up 1 rep max was 35 kg or 77 pounds. That was about 60% of my body weight, which is also generally the level where most people start training for the one-arm chin-up, though I don't think that this is the ideal weight to get started, and I will explain why more towards the end of this video. Anyways, it took me a few months to learn the full one-arm chin-up. I ended up getting it in March of 2022. I didn't focus on training the weighted chin-up during this period. Despite that, when I finally tested it, and unfortunately I don't have a video clip for that, my max weighted chin-up went up to 40 kg or 90 pounds. And I was still weighing at 60 kg, so it was slightly below just 70% of my body weight. This was my max strength when I was able to do a one-arm chin-up. What is interesting though is that my weighted chin-up numbers in different rep ranges were not very strong or impressive at all. In fact, if I told you what my numbers were, you'd think that I would be able to do a one-arm chin-up with that level of strength at all. As all these happened over 3 years ago, I unfortunately don't have video clips for that, so you'll have to trust me for this one. But my max reps with 30 kg or 66 pounds was only 3, and most shockingly, my max reps with 20 kg or 45 pounds or a plate was only 8, which sounds really bad because 20 kg for 10 is when you become an intermediate. It is a very nice beginner goal. The fact that I was not even able to do that, but I was able to do a one-arm chin-up is definitely quite weird. In terms of my max bodyweight pull-ups, I was able to do around 15, which is something that I'm actually okay with because I never trained high rep bodyweight pull-ups at all. So, in conclusion, this brings me back to a point that I was making earlier, that being able to pull 60% of your body weight may not be the ideal strength level to start training for a one-arm chin-up. I think that I rushed jumping into the one-arm chin-up because I was bored being stuck and I thought that I could break through this plateau by trying something new. However, the truth is that I lacked a solid level of strength and I lacked patience. That's why, despite learning the one-arm chin-up, I was not able to maintain it for long, and after that, due to some personal reasons, I stopped training completely and lost all of my strengths. I am currently trying to learn from my mistakes. I am right now 74 kg or 163 pounds, that is 14 kg heavier than what I was, and my current level of strength is 40 kg weighted chin-ups for 2. That is about 54% of my body weight, so I am relatively weaker than I used to be. I plan on reaching a much higher level of basic strength before I start training for the one-arm chin-up one more time. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments, maybe watch another video that I made, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.